Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about rotation pattern, and it's very important to train your rotation pattern because rotation is it's pretty complex when it comes to body functioning, and if it's done not properly or there is a misalignment in the movement, it's very easy to get injuries. It's very easy to twist your knee, to twist your hip, or start getting even back pain, right? So technically, in general, in fitness or in movement patterns, rotation pattern and hinging pattern are the two of the patterns that cause most of back pain problems and injuries in fitness in general, and in day-to-day life as well, right? By the way, scoop, that's why parents for newborns get many times develop back pains. The reason is because they need to lift their kid many times and they twist a lot. So if you have newborn kids and getting back pain, now we probably know why that happens, right? So in general, rotation pattern, you can see it a lot in sports as well, right? People that play racket games like badminton, tennis, golf, baseball, martial arts as well, boxing, kicking, whatever, there's always some element of rotation involved. And if you don't know, or your body is not functioning properly, one, you can, in a fitness perspective, you can't generate proper force because your body is not rotating. You don't create the proper alignment in the movement. And if it's on a day-to-day basis, it's very easy just to do a wrong move and then twist your knee or damage your hip, or whatever, right? So one of the tools I use in my classes on conditioning, and those of you who have been training with me know that, it's a RIP trainer, right? So this is a tool by TRX. It's basically very simply, it's a stick connected to a wall or a fence or anything, with a resistant band. Now the cool thing about it is that you can work your rotation pattern in very unique ways, and you can both isolate your movements and integrate your movement. And I'll give you a bit of an explanation about what does it mean, right? So isolation, it's when you're isolating a different body part and you focus on a specific movement, right? Integration is when you're working few body parts at the same time, right? And it makes the movement a little bit complex, and I'll break it down to you in a second, okay? So basically the way you work with the RIP trainer, right? It works on rotational move, right? So you have resistance on one side and you're working against the resistance in a rotational pattern. So if you have trained with this before, great, that might give you a little bit more understanding, and if not, that's a good way that you can try and improve your rotational patterns, right? It's great if you're playing some sports, if you're playing, like, again, racket sports, always when you try to hit the ball or you need to move in a circular way, it gives you a very, very good practice for it. So let me break it down to you exercises you can do with it, right? So first we're gonna start with isolation, right? So you wanna work on how you press it, right? You wanna get your hip stabilized against the rotation. So you want to get a strong position on your legs, and then you want to work only on pushing pattern with your upper body, right? So you're kind of mostly activating your chest and your tricep, right? So you're creating a hipping movement, okay? But your hip is not participating in the movement. That's why it's an isolation. So you're isolating your upper body, your chest, tricep to move, okay? The second pattern you can add to that is you're adding a hip movement to it. So you basically cutting body in two, imaginatively, and you stabilize your legs and you're activating your upper body. So you rotate the hip and then you push, okay? You rotate the hip and push, rotate the hip, push. So there is not much movement on the legs, right? So what it does, basically, it helps you to stabilize your posture and activate your obliques. Okay, activate your obliques and combine your oblique movement with the chest and the tricep movement, right? So it's very good, like for example, if you're doing boxing, to practice your shots, okay? Or again, any type of racket games, you can train on bang, okay? Like you're hitting a ball. So that's the second option. The third option is when you integrate a leg movement into the movement pattern. So for example, you're adding a step and you're rotating your feet while you're doing that. Now this is a bit more complex because you need to know how to step, stabilize, and properly rotate your feet in order not to injure your knees, because many times what happens in rotation patterns is that the knee gets stuck and then it's rotated to a bad position, and because the knee is a joint that's basically working on your flexion and extension, any twisting movement that is not releasing the knee can cause an injury. And that's why many times the people that not practicing rotation and they go to play sports, they might damage their knee or damage their ankle or twist the hip. So it's very important to understand the mechanics of it and how you integrate upper body, lower body, or isolate, depends on which type of training you do. And again, TRX RIP trainer is a good tool to work on rotation patterns. I always used it in my outdoor classes. Finally, I was able to bring it also to the studio because I needed to fix it, to mount it. So now we start using that as well to practice a rotation pattern. That's about it. If you have any questions about, again, how to properly do rotation movement, if you want to improve your fitness performance, your game performance, I don't know, if you play any kind of sports that requires a rotation movement, it's a great practice to have it. If you haven't been in our conditioning classes, you're welcome to join in. We're working on this type of movement patterns in order to perform better, get less injuries, and just be more conditioned in general, right? Any questions, guys, let me know at the bottom of the video or wherever you see this. And that's it. Hope you have a good day and see you in the next video.